A protest has been held close to Downing Street this evening over the continued detention of a British woman in Iran. Nazanin Zaghari Ratcliffe's ordeal began in April, arrested at the airport as she was returning from a family visit. She'd been travelling with her 2-year-old daughter Gabriella, whose passport was taken away. She's now being cared for by relatives in Iran. In September, Nazanin was sentenced to 5 years in prison, but the charges against her remain a secret. Her husband, Richard Ratcliffe, who's from Hampshire, has been campaigning for his wife's release. Well, our political editor, Peter Henley, was at this evening's protest and has just sent this report from Westminster.
It's now 260 days since Nazanin Zaghari Ratcliffe was taken into custody. She's now been convicted and sentenced to 5 years, and we understand she's in solitary confinement. A long way from a prison in Iran to Downing Street this evening, where many members of her family were singing carols, trying to keep their spirits up, present a positive aspect to the campaign to get her freed. But a lot of it, of course, revolves around trying to influence governments, in particular the British government, to put more pressure on the Iranian government. And Nazanin's husband, Richard, feels not enough is being done.
The government is doing more and more, but it hasn't worked. So they need to keep going. Certainly there are things that they could have done they haven't done. They've never called for her release. They've never criticised the way she's been treated. So we'll keep going demanding that. But I'm grateful for the small things they have done. So they've been to visit Gabriella. That's an important thing.
People in Hampshire have been very busy, as well as those in London, campaigning for Nazanin's release. Laura Trant reports on their letter-writing campaign.
Today is a peaceful protest against a frustrating process. It's a message of solidarity and is in conjunction with Amnesty International.
At the moment, she's not very well at all. She's lost a lot of weight, a lot of strength, a lot of hair. Very down. She's back in solitary confinement.
She's a British citizen, and that's what we can't understand as a family, why she's been left. It feels like she's been left to hang out to dry for the last 9 months with very little British consular support. And I understand the British government's reasons behind that, but it still feels like they're using it as an excuse. She's a British citizen, as a British child. We just feel she should be home by now with us. We weren't expecting this much support, and it just helps lift our spirits, it helps drive this campaign. Without the local support, our campaign wouldn't get off the ground.
Nazanin's 38th birthday is on Boxing Day, a birthday that's likely to be behind bars, unless her family's one Christmas wish comes true.
26,000 letters now have been sent to that prison in Iran, and many tweets, some of which Nazanin's got to see on Iranian television. That has cheered her up. And one thing I think which will cheer the whole campaign up is I got a chance to talk to the Prime Minister tonight at a reception in Downing Street, and I said, will she be thinking about Nazanin Ratcliffe in her prison in Iran as the Prime Minister is in Downing Street this Christmas? She said she would be thinking of her and all the other people who are in very difficult situations around the world, and she said that the government would be keeping up pressure on the Iranian regime in the best way they think they can to get Nazanin freed.
Our political editor, Peter Henley, there.